ready.
Hello and welcome back to the SimZone. We're here for round 2 of the MOZA Racing GT3 Championship. Also, TeamStock, one of our sponsors for the championship too. But coming into this round, of course, we're at Paul Ricard, Lettonen currently on provisional pole 153.775. Vit there P2 just a tenth behind. Faulkner as well, just over a tenth and a half behind, so very close between the top 3, opening up this qualifying session. And well, coming into this round, let's have a quick look at the standings. So it's currently Lettonen leading the championship. Obviously came P1 in the first round, then followed by Faulkner P2, Sidor P3, by Oldfist P4, Semator P5, who isn't racing today unfortunately, Campanella P6, and he won't be qualifying today as he does have a qualifying ban, but let's see what he can do in terms of damage limitation. Craig Lees in P7, Ache in P8, Taste in P9, Prinzi in P10, Motin in P11, Sullivan P12, MOZA P13, and Van Hoorn in P14. So, Paul Ricard, one of at least my favourite circuits. That's just on ACC at least, but that's just preference. I know a lot of drivers don't really like Paul Ricard, but I think it's quite a good circuit for racing. It does throw up some good battles, in my opinion. But yeah, Lettonen currently lapping around here, sitting on provisional pole. He is slightly up on his time. Sidor just improves there as he crosses the line 600ths quicker, and Vit currently 2 tenths up. Lettonen 2 tenths up as he exits the final corner. Looks like it's going to be an improvement here and a new fastest lap of this qualifying session at 153.665. But where is Vit? No, he's lost the car. Has he lost it? I think he did lose the car. Into the and looks like Hache is going to return the car to the pits. He was up on his time though. Prinzi is going to cross the line 3 tenths up here. This is going to put him P5 there as he crosses the line. Good lap there from Prinzi. That leaves the top 9 just separated by over a second here. Top 3 now into the pits, I assume for some fresh tyres. There's still plenty of time in this qualifying session for them to improve. Johnson in the Lexus. Don't really see the Lexus out on track much anymore. Obviously it's not in the real world series either, but Johnson running this car for this season. 6.7 seconds off at the moment though, but he is a second up as he enters the final corner. Let's see what he can do in terms of lap time. His last, or his best, a 2:04. What's it going to be as he crosses the line? It is a 1:59.522 there, so a slight improvement for Johnson. Van Hoorn there, P14, 3 seconds off. Barth racing as a one-off today. Won't be able to do the other rounds, but P13 there for Barth at the moment. Who else is up for an improvement? Craig Lees 2 tenths up as he enters his fast right-hander at the end of the straight. Now I think this is going to be quite a tricky corner in terms of track limits as well, especially once you see the drivers pushing the car in this qualifying session and in the race. They go a bit too wide beyond those track limit bollards. It's very easy to pick up a track limit warning, and sector 1 also quite a tricky part for track limits. I think we may see some drive-through penalties today for that reason, but hopefully not. Hopefully no one does get any drive-through penalties, but it's not guaranteed. And Faulkner there, P4 2.7, 0.27 off, and Lees is going to cross the line, puts it up into P10 here, so a top 10 in this qualifying session so far for Lees, and he's going to return the car to the pits. Who else is out on track? Sullivan here, approaching the, I believe, final few corners, but not on a valid lap at the moment. Gorgie is currently 1.5 seconds up on this lap, although 8.1 seconds off the provisional pole time, but he's in the Aston V12, and you're just hearing that car. Absolutely amazing. 2 seconds up actually for Gorgie as he rounds the final corner, missed the apex by quite a margin there, doesn't really use the exit, all of the track on the exit, but he's going to cross the line with an improvement. There we go. And yeah, that car definitely the best sounding on the grid. I think along with the Porsche, he definitely can't beat them. But it's nice to see actually. Just imagine a whole grid of those going round. Maybe we'll do that for an off-season event, who knows. I think we did have an off-season event with them on console, PS4 in the early days of ACC. We might have to do something similar once again. Interesting racing lines there being taken by Gorgie. I think he's fairly new to racing, or just not as experienced as some of the other drivers on this grid, or maybe even using a controller. I have no idea at this point. It looks like the top three not really able to improve just yet. Mineo P7 had a change of car, so he's lost all its points that he picked up in round one. I believe he was in the Ferrari previously, but he's now in the Lambo. Currently sitting 8/10 off of that provisional pole time, but no improvement this time around. Still 8/10 off. Oh no, in fact it was a slight improvement from Mineo, 154.524, but not... Oh, I believe it was less than 1/10 of an improvement. Brenier currently P9, just outside of that second, or just outside of within a second to our provisional pole man Latonen, but he's currently 1/10 up on this lap and still got this next sector to go as he just enters it now. Let's see what he can do. Can he find any more time in this final sector? Slow saying, stop talking, I want to hear that V12. We'll go on board that V12 in the race, don't worry. We have plenty of time to listen to that car. But yeah, 2/10 up for Brenier. Bjorkqvist 2/10 up as well, but he's 1.5 off at the moment, so he needs at least half a second to gain a place here in this qualifying session. Brenier approaching the penultimate corner. Bit of a slightly double apex corner, that penultimate one, but makes a mistake on the exit and loses all that time he gained just through one corner. There were no improvement, I don't think, from Brenier that last time round. No, he was a 10th slower than his personal best. Who else? The top three once again don't look like they will be improving. Latonen's just started a lap. He's flashing purple here, so he might be able to find some more time on his lap. Bjorkqvist 4/10 up. Like we said earlier, he needs over half a second to gain a position on Brenier here. He's 4/10 up. He just needs a 10th or more. 5/10 up now. This is looking like a good lap from Bjorkqvist. Let's see what he can do. Oh no, he's got the rear out, but still 5/10 up. There we go. He's lost a bit on the exit now. As soon as we switch to someone, there's always a mistake, but still, he's now 6/10 up, so found loads of time in these last couple of corners, and rounds the final corner here using all the track on the exit, and I think it is going to be P9 here for Bjorkqvist. Oh no, P8 even. Oh wow, huge improvement there for Bjorkqvist. P8 for him, and he's still got another lap to go here. But where is Latonen? He's coming up towards this penultimate corner. He is flashing purple. It's flashing white and purple here, his current lap, and for him on his delta it should be flashing green green and red, but he exits the final corner. Oh, what an exit there from Litonen. And it's going to be an improvement here. Is it 35.5? I think he's going to cross the line with. No, yeah, 53, sorry, 53.5. Why do I keep getting those mixed up? I have no idea, but puts another 2/10 there on, or a 10.5 there on Vitvu in P2. Sidor currently a 10th up, 2/10 up even. He'll be looking to gain P1 off of Litonen. Litonen still on the lap. His qualifying session is not over, and he is a 10th up as well, so it's going to be quite close, like we saw last time out, towards the end of this qualifying session. Looking at the gap between Sidor and P2 and P3, it's just 5 thousandths between those two. Sidor is 2/10 down on this current. I mean, Vitbit's 2/10 down on this current lap, so I don't think he will be able to improve, and I think that's pretty much his qualifying session over. If I were him, I'd. Yeah, there we go. I think he's going to continue. Thought he was slowing down there just for a moment, but Litonen 10th up. Sidor is on a lap, doesn't look like any improvement now, but remember, it can easily be found in these last few corners. It's not showing that he's down his time. Litonen 2/10 up though. You see they're using all of the track that's still within track limits. Those white and red bollards on the exit, or markers on the exit, show the track limits for that particular corner. Yeah, he is 2/10 up here for Litonen. Can he possibly go even quicker? Looks like he's found even more time there through that left-hander. That left-hander, quite a tricky corner though. Got a bit of a camber to it. If you end up going too wide or staying too wide for too long, you'll get some serious understeer. But Litonen 3/10 up as he rounds the final corner. There we go. That's it for this qualifying session, and we will be back in just a moment for the start of the race. Right, so we're onto the formation lap now. And as we saw in qualifying, Latonen taking pole position and improving in on the last lap as well. So a bit more of a rub in the face to the drivers behind, improving on the last lap. Didn't really need to, but he did push the car to its limit towards the ends there. We are going to get a quick grid walk here for this race. Latonen starting on pole. Gorgie looks like he didn't press the drive button in time. He'd be starting from the back of the field in the pits. With it P2, Sidor P3. Faulkner in P4, looks like he's maybe running in a higher gear because you can't really hear the engine. Maybe saving some fuel. Lindsay P6, Jordan P7, Minio in P8, Bjorkqvist in P9, Granier P10. So a lot of Ferraris on the grid, as you know, as you can see. Sullivan P11, Lease in P12, you can see there. There we go, that's Taste in P13. Barth in P14. McCluskey in P15. Van Hoorn in P16. Motin in P17. MOZA in P18. Very bright pink and white livery there. Johnson P19. And well, rounding off the field at the moment, Campanella in P20. Gorgie obviously in the pits. There we go. But I think he's going to be a bit annoyed with himself after having to start from the pit lane. But that gives Campanella P20 one less car to deal with on the start. I think for Campanella, obviously has his qualifying ban today, but if you can get a top 10 or top 5 even in this race, it's going to be very good in terms of points. And not sure what's going on here between these two. No idea what's going on here actually. But there we go, we are side by side now. Yeah, we should be side by side. We're approaching the final corner here. Getting ready for the start of the race. Door very eager to get started. But let's hope he doesn't get a penalty for being a bit too close and being out of position here. There we go, he's backed off now. But Latonen and Witvert are going to be on the front row. Sidor and Faulkner on the second. Who's going to get the jump into turn one? We are green. Latonen off to a very good start there. Witvert trying to close the door. Yes, he does. And looks like nowhere for Sidor to go. He has to tuck back in. Oh no, Sidor! What has Sidor done? Oh no, moves right across. And he's caused a huge accident there, has Sidor. That's not what we want to see at all. That is rookie error there from Sidor. And I think he's going to be picking up some penalty points after this one. And oh no, he's facing the wrong way. I think he's going to retire from the race here. Is Sidor. He's caused a huge accident. And no, I have no idea what on earth he was doing there. But that's dropped Faulkner down to P16. Luckily, I don't think he got too much damage after that one. No, he didn't. He actually was all right side by side there with, I believe, Campanella. But that has caused a bit of chaos in the opening lap there. I think Sidor, you could see he was eager to get going. But no, that's not great racing from Sidor whatsoever. And I think, yeah, into the pits. No idea what Sidor was doing. On earth, yeah. What on earth was Sidor doing? Oh well. That's, I think he will retire from the race after that one. If he continues, fair play, but that's a lot of damage he sustained after that. The top two still within a second of each other, Latonen and Witvert, but that's one less driver to worry about for the top two. Prinzi P3, we've got a few more comments coming in as well. We'll have a read of them in just a moment, but Jordan currently running in P4 now after that incident. A few drivers would have picked up damage for that. I noticed that Hooschii dropped down a couple, well, not a couple, quite a few positions actually. Fulton obviously dropped down a lot of positions. Started in P4, dropped down to P14. Lee's currently running in P11. This train still continuing, but a few drivers carrying some damage now. Brinzi with damage on his Porsche. He had damage last round as well. And not a good start. But looks like that is Jordan behind. Looking left and right, trying for an inside line in towards this right-hander. I believe it's turn 3. But quite a tricky place, quite a tricky corner to go for a move for. It's very, very narrow and slow compared to the rest of the circuit in this section. And that's where, well, the car's not going to be using all of its downforce. So on entry, you might, some of the drivers are going to get understeer. On exit, they'll get oversteer. So it's a very risky place for overtakes. But we look down towards P9 by Ökvist. Has got Motin behind him, followed by Lees as well. Remember, the Porsche not slow on the straights anymore. It's a bit of a battle up ahead of these two going on as well between Taste and Brenier. Two Ferraris following each other, but it is pretty much a follow me game here down the back straight. And look at the closing speed from the Aston. He's pulled out the slipstream there. Looks like Ökvist trying to defend the corner. He's going to be on the inside. Can Motin go round the outside here? Very risky move as well. Still within track limits, but he's have to back out. And can Lees now capitalise on that? He's going to be inside for the next corner, this long right-hander, and he's got the optimal line there. And looks like he's got the job done unless unless Motin can fight back, which he's trying to do, but Lees leaves no room for him to do so, or for him to get back past. So great defending and move there by Lees. Let's go back towards this battle for P3 as well. It's really, really close as we approach the final corner. This is starting to become a bit of a train here. Printy with that damage, not able to pull away from Jordan. Now Minio closing up to them. Sullivan also closing up to them with a quite a good start here in this race. I mean, Sullivan's gained 5 positions off the start. A lot of drivers gaining positions off the start. Apart from the few that were involved in that incident at the start. But it's obviously going to be damage limitation for them going forward in this race, and plenty of time to make back those positions lost as well. But it looks like we've had a change in position. Brenier overtaking Taste there. And now Taste, can he keep up now? The gap between these two already nearly, well, already over half a second. That's Taste is still going to have the slipstream, the toe coming down this long back straight. Let's see how much time he's going to be able to close in. He's already gained a 10th by the time we've started on this back straight. I don't think it's going to be enough by the time we reach the end for Taste to go for a move whatsoever. Let's go back to this battle. Prinzi still defending, surprisingly this time around. Jordan not as close as he was before, but on the that right-hander, look how close Jordan has been able to get. I think that damage definitely coming into play, and bit of oversteer there for Prinzi. Jordan's found the inside line. He's going to get that move done. Can Minio follow him through? No, he can't. He's just a bit too far back to follow Jordan through, and Prinzi getting all over that inside curb. Don't really want to be touching that too much. That does unsettle the car quite a bit. Ricard's got quite a few of those elevated curves. You definitely don't want to be touching them whatsoever. One in that final corner as well, and slightly wide on the final corner as well by Minio. Don't know if he's going to be picking up a track limit warning for that, but track limits, like I said earlier, is going to be a pain for some of the drivers. Campanella now making his way through the field after starting from the back. Van Hoorn losing that position there, currently running in P14. We've got a bit of a battle going on in the background. We've got MOZA and Hooschii. Hooschii, how much damage has he got on the car? He's got quite a bit on the front there. A lot of splitter damage. It's not going to help with turning whatsoever. But he's holding off MOZA here in that white and pink BMW. I believe the only BMW on the grid. And looks like Barth challenging for a move now on MOZA. He's on the inside. Later in the brakes is Barth. No, has to back out of that move. MOZA was just slightly ahead there going into the braking zone. And yeah, I think Sador's going to be staying in the pits for this race. by Oakvist. Let's go back to this battle. Still being hunted down here by Lees. Motin behind as well after that position lost from Lees, and now Faulkner making his way through the field. Campanella there not far behind either. These two, well, Faulkner qualified well, and obviously got taken out by Sidor at the start, who moved right across him. But Faulkner still, nevertheless, has got some serious pace here in this race, and he's closing right in on to Motin there. Motin wide onto the blue stuff there, onto the blue runoff, and Faulkner's going to capitalise that whoa. Capitalise on that, and that's Oakvist once again with a bit of oversteer. He had oversteer in the same place, in the same corner on the previous lap. He's really struggling there through that corner, maybe getting the power down a bit too early. Is by Oakvist and Faulkner there, 2 positions just alone on this lap by other drivers' mistakes. So there we go, looks like that's Campanella down the inside of Motin. They're going to be side by side on the exit, and I think Motin might be able to hold it into turn 1, maybe not. Campanella's got more of his car ahead, but it looks like Motin's running really low wing on that Aston, which is quite interesting here. But into turn 1, Campanella trying it around the outside, these two leaving just enough room for each other, and onto the big curb there is Campanella. He's still going to have the inside here coming up towards the next right-hander. Can Motin hold it around the outside? His car's still ahead, and I think Campanella's going to have to slot behind there, not able to get that overtake done, and Motin holds on just for now. But look how much time they've lost to the pack ahead, losing heaps of time because Campanella setting himself up here for a move, and it's going to work there. Motin slightly wide, possibly picking up a track limit warning for that as well, but Campanella set that one up a few corners earlier, and well, he's got that down up into P12, his next target by Oakvist. Faulkner though closing down on Lees now. That gap coming down by a huge margin. If I were Lees, I'd let Faulkner through. Faulkner's obviously out of position here. Lees, if he can follow Faulkner to try and catch up to Taste ahead, that's going to be huge gains for him as well. Looks like Lees not fighting this one too hard, so very wise decision there from him. And now they're going to try and work together to catch up. Taste just up ahead there in P8. What's going on here with between P4 and P5? Still very, very close between these two. Sullivan has dropped off by about a second, and actually Jordan, after getting that overtake done on Prinzi, has pulled away nearly a second and a half to Prinzi. Looking at the top two, still about 2 seconds separating them. Jordan about 4 seconds off of the two as well. So it's still not over between those guys. Looking at P11 now, Campanella up another position. Looks like Oakvist has made a huge mistake. He's lost 2 positions there. 1 to Campanella, 2 to Motin. The Oakvist going backwards in this race. Really struggling with the rear end of that Porsche, and the Porsche by no means is an easy car to drive. It is quite a beast to tame. Let's have a quick read of the comments now as well. Lord Pearl saying, can we get a replay of the start? Yes, we will get one later. We'll get a replay later of the start. Let's have a quick read of the comments as well. Packham saying, rooting for Barth. What a great guy to race with. We've got Andy King showing his support for Lees and Jordan from Pit Stop UK. We've got Dunderpants again. Yes, brilliant name. Showing support for Jordan, Matt Jordan. What else have we got going in? We've got Toto Wayne saying, Torpedo, please come back. I'm not sure what that means. But Pearl saying Faulkner's rapid at this stage of the race. Yeah, he's absolutely flying. He's in P9. In fact, while reading the comments, he's already on the back of another car. He's on the back of Taste here already. Challenging for this position. Is he going to look towards the inside of this right-hander now for Taste? He cannot leave. Well, he cannot take the normal racing line here, and he's gone slightly wide here. He's invited Faulkner down the inside, which is a huge mistake, but I don't think Taste is going to be battling this one too hard this early on in the race. In fact, he's still trying to defend his Taste. Faulkner trying to do it around the outside. Is he going to get it done? Looks like he has. They're still side by side, but Taste with no overlap now. He's going to have to tuck back in, and there we go. Faulkner with a great overtake around the outside there. And up into P8 he goes, but that's bunched the drivers behind him back up. Lees is caught back up. Campanella now closing in as well. And even then with that damage, Faulkner's got some serious pace in this race. Although not the fastest lap of the race, he's had to make his way through some traffic, but he's still lapping quicker than the majority of the field at the moment. 154.5 that last time around. The fastest lap of the race, 153.8 from Latonen, so much quicker than the rest of the field at the moment. And in fact, that last lap, Latonen 4/10 quicker than Witwood there in P2. Now we'll have driver of the day voting up as well later. Later on into this race. We'll bring it up once the pit window opens. And I hope I don't forget to bring it up. Last time I didn't, and before I did. There's so many things to keep track of. It's not easy whatsoever. Campanella's got the slipstream here. Now closing in on Lease. Will he get this done by the end of the straight? It looks like he will. He's right at the back here. Can we go on board, or is it a bit too late to go on board? Yeah, it's too late. They are side by side here. And Lease on the outside, Campanella on the inside. Obviously, him being out of position pretty much as well. He had a qualifying ban for this race. I think a much better showing in terms of side-by-side racing here from Campanella. Been getting these moves done nice and cleanly. Now he's got Taste to deal with just up ahead, and I think for Campanella his main rival in this race will be Faulkner. Faulkner dropped down the order, and of course they were met on track together, these two, as a result. So for Campanella, with no damage, he's going to have to try and hunt down Faulkner here, but they've got a car between them at this moment in time. Let's bring up our secondary screen to get some battles going on here with Prinzi and Minio as well. They're still very close. Now Minio seems to have settled down a bit more. Obviously he has that, oh no, I spoke too soon. Got a bit of a wiggle on the exit of turn 2 there. It looks like Minio's not going to have enough of a run to get that move done, but what I was going to say was that Prinzi looks like he's settled down after receiving some damage on the opening lap. But he's still being hunted down here by Minio. Doesn't look too phased at the moment, but we have seen a mistake or two from Prinzi, especially on this lap into the first couple of corners, which is quite easy to make a mistake on. But also Campanella struggling to get past Taste here, and I think for Campanella his main opportunity will be down this straight, because he's close enough here for the slipstream. He pulls out the slipstream here last second, and slingshots past here, not quite past just yet. But let's see, I think, yeah, he's now got his car ahead, and Taste is going to have to slot behind him. I don't think he's got the inside line. No, he doesn't. There we go, slots behind. And there we have it. Almost a warning there for Taste for running wide. That could have been also him losing the rear end, because that exit curb can be quite bumpy, especially if you're running the car very low. That exit curb can be quite tricky. Looking further down is where we've got a 3-car battle here. Once again, Bjorkqvist, Van Hoorn and Hooschii. Looks like Van Hoorn and Hooschii side by side here on the exits. Van Hoorn struggling here to keep Hooschii behind. Hooschii with that Ferrari has some damage, of course, also from the opening lap. But slightly different lines here through the penultimate corner between the two. Looks like Van Hoorn gaining a bit of time there on Hooschii. Hooschii a bit deep on the brakes into that penultimate corner. You don't want to be too wide through there. You definitely do lose time. Really about that second to last corner. It's not really about prioritizing the exit. There's not a long run at all towards the final corner. Pretty much as soon as you exit that penultimate corner, you're pretty much on the brakes for the final corner here, and almost 3 wide it looked like from that camera view, but Van Hoorn's going to try and defend this position, and he does so there. Hooschii having to back out, although he did have his nose down the inside. Van Hoorn in a bit of trouble here, but Bjorkqvist just up in front, maybe slowing Van Hoorn down a bit here as well. So Van Hoorn trying to get past Bjorkqvist, but at the same time fending off Hooschii. Now this is going to be an interesting battle of slipstream here. Jordan still having that 1.5 second gap to Prinzi, so he hasn't really pulled away massively. But look at this, Van Hoorn slingshotting past, well, almost past by Ulfist here. He's going to have the inside through this right hand. I don't think there's much Ulfist can do at this point, and he's going to go defensive here for the next corner as well. So Van Hoorn utilising that low wing possibly on the Aston and getting right past by Ulfist, and now he's it's left by Ulfist to deal with Hatcho on his own. Looks like we've had a change in position here. Sullivan has made a mistake. He's dropped down into P11 as Sullivan. So Lee's, Taste, Campanella and Faulkner, I believe, were gaining a position as a result. Campanella and Faulkner now quite close as well. So these two pretty much following each other to try and make their way back up the field. If I were these two, I definitely wouldn't be battling at this stage in the race. They've both got the pace to be in the top 5 or even in the top 3 for this race, judging by the lap times they're doing compared to the top 3. That last lap from the both of them, well, for Faulkner is a 154.9, which is quicker than P2, P3 and P4. The only driver quicker than them in the top 5 was Latonen, our race leader. But Campanella that last lap, a 154.2. So lapping quicker than anyone that last time around. But maybe for Faulkner, he might let Campanella through. Obviously, Faulkner won't really know what lap times Campanella is doing unless he's looked down at the times once they cross the line. But yeah, Faulkner not really challenging or defending this position. He's going to try and work with Campanella to catch up the rest of the field. You can see now Minio and Prinzi very, very close here, even closer than they were before. Just a couple tenths separating these two as they go through this long right-hander. Now, no, bit of a mistake there from Prinzi. Caught the blue on the outside of that long right-hander, and it's definitely not the best thing to do to go really wide through there. You want to stay sort of in the middle of the track due to the camber of that corner. So you're going to really utilise that. Some of these corners have camber to them, which can be used. If you stay too far wide, sometimes it'll give you an understeer in some of these corners, especially in that final sector. You've got the left-hander that we were talking about earlier, but that long right, if you stay on the outside, you're not going to be using the corner's camber to your advantage. And also, as we saw Prinzi clipping the blue on the outside of the circuit, it's more abrasive, the runoff here at Purcar. So if you start driving on the blue stuff or even further over that, it can slow the car down fractionally, but it's not really what you want. It is a different surface, it's more abrasive, and yeah, you definitely don't want to be on that when you're trying to keep your speed through the corner. And a huge bit of oversteer there. Oh no, Prince is into the wall. Huge bit of oversteer for him. He's got the car facing the right way now, but that was head on straight into the wall, into the barriers, and he just said hello to barrier there. But that's even more damage for the Porsche. Look at that, that's not looking great whatsoever. But as a result, Lees is going to get past him with ease. And there we go. That mistake was I think inevitable for Prinzi with the amount of pressure that Minio was putting on him. We've got a few more comments coming in as well. We've got Yaroslav, good to see you. We've got Sidor saying such a terrible start from me. Yeah, no idea what happened there. I think you just moved over when there was a car next to you, but hey, we all make mistakes, things happen. Back to this battle, and in fact Brenior and Campanella quite close as well. We're gonna have to bring this up too. That's another battle to watch out for if we can catch them on the track. We've got a few drivers into the pits now for their mandatory stops, and that's when we will bring up the, what's it called, the driver of the day voting. That's what it's called. Let's see, where is this battle? There it is. Oh, I found them for a second. I lost them just after. Here we go. The two Ferraris, P5 and P6 now battling for position. Looks like that is Hooschii into the pits for an early stop. In fact, that is by Ulfist following him through too. So those two into the pits. That leaves Van Hoorn in a bit of clean air. He's got some traffic to deal with though. Gorgie in the V12 Aston. In fact, we wanted an onboard from the Aston. We're getting onboard now. We can, let's see, should we go rear view wing cam? No, let's not do that actually. Let's go actual onboard. Here we go. It sounds a bit better from the outside actually. Yeah, let's go from the outside. It definitely sounds better from the outside. We're looking at this battle between P5 and P6, Brennio and Campanella. Looks like Campanella is going to once again get Brennio down the straight. Campanella really likes making these moves down the straight, but he's really utilising this this long straight section of the track that we've got here at Paul Ricard to get past quite easily here. All he has to do is stick with the driver in front or be very close to them within a few tenths once he enters the straight. And oh, what's happened here to Gorge? He's pulled over. Has he not put fuel in the car? Something's happened there to Gorge. He's pulled over and he's still out on track, surprisingly. What has happened here? Maybe he's had to attend to something in person, but he's definitely stopped on the track. We've got yellow flags now out on that part of the circuit. But there we go. No, he's into the pits now, so it's either fuel or he's had to attend to something, or maybe an equipment failure, which we've seen from some drivers before as well. Never know what can happen. Prinsey now into the pits. He's going to be definitely repairing that damage he had picked up just a few laps ago. Yeah, let's bring up the driver of the day voting now. That link will be posted in the comments. Yes, it's quite tricky on the starts. That's why the best thing to do is just hold your line really on the starts. You just stay on the same side you started. It's much easier to avoid collisions that way. But Brennio in a bit of trouble here now. Faulkner trying to get past, but Faulkner, after letting Campanella through, they're struggling to keep up. I assume it's going to be either due to that. Well, it's definitely that damage that's taken a toll on his pace here. But still, he is absolutely flying at the moment, given the condition his car is in. And he's now challenging Brennio for a position here. Faulkner, I think, would be better off going for a bit of an early pit stop here, getting the rear out to just try and claim that inside line. He's got that done there. A bit squirrely on the exit as well, but that doesn't matter. He's got the job done. And upper position goes Faulkner. Now Minio on the back of Jordan. That's interesting. So Jordan had about a second and a half to Minio. Minio obviously was stuck behind Prinsey. Prinsey, after he's made that mistake, has left Minio into clean air, and with that clean air, Minio's been able to lap quicker, 8 tenths quicker actually, that last time round for, sorry, the previous lap before that, for Minio, and that is Campanella and Brennio into the pits. Faulkner staying out on track for longer, which is interesting. He's not decided to pit this lap, but he's left himself in some clean air now. 5 seconds to Minio. Let's go on board here with the Lamborghini number 21. Bit of oversteer on the exit there for Jordan. Slightly different lines between the two as well. Minio taking that inside curve, which can actually unsettle the car slightly. And looks like Jordan's gained a bit of time there on Minio. Gap 4 tenths between these two as they enter the long back straight, and the Lamborghini visibly pulling closer here. 3 tenths now. Minio needs to be following exactly where that Ferrari is going. 2 tenths. This Lamborghini's got some pace from the straights. They're pulling out a bit too early in my opinion. You can see there the Lamborghini just chopping off. I think if Minio stayed directly behind Jordan for a bit longer, he would have been closer here. And on the exit, Minio's had to lift due to that overspeed, or brake a bit more due to that overspeed, and running a bit too wide there is Minio. Like I said earlier, if you run too wide, you're not really utilising that camber of that corner. You need to be sort of in the middle of the track there to really gain as much time as possible through that corner. But Minio, I'm sort of backseat driving here, but that's good insight, I think. But looks like a bit of a mistake there for Jordan through the final corner. Minio, no, he's cut the pit entry line. Oh, that's not good. That's not good from Minio there, cutting the pit entry line. I think that could be a possible penalty there for him from the stewards. But let's go down to P6 and P7. Lease and Taste within a second of, or almost within a second of each other here. Neither of them deciding to pit this lap. And almost towards the halfway mark of this race. That's usually when most of the drivers do pit. But at least you're the closest on track at the moment. And usually in the pit stops, we have the drivers separating out slightly. Obviously, this grid not the biggest compared to our other championships. But still, nevertheless, the racing has been very, very good. And for Latonen this time around, it's been a bit of a quieter race compared to Suzuka. At Suzuka, he obviously had contact with Campanella, dropped back a few positions, but was still able to get the race lead after a bit more contact that Campanella, I believe, Sidor had. But looking at some gaps now, that's Minio's come out of the pits. He's in some traffic though. Oh, what's happened to Faulkner? Oh, Faulkner's exits the pits actually. Hasn't repaired the damage. So he's gained some time in the pit stops by doing so. But in the long run, was it worth it for Faulkner? I'm not sure. He's on the back of Campanella now. So let's see if he can stick with him. I think it's going to be difficult with that damage he's got on the front. Or maybe he's repaired... No, I don't think he has. I can still see some slight damage on the front splitter there. And on the left side, with on the side skirts as well. It's definitely still got some damage on that car. A bit there into the pits now too. It will definitely bring up a replay of that start of the start of the race, which is what a few of you wanted to see. I think we'll get a helicopter view of the replay as well. Lees and Tay still separated by a second here as we speak, by wrist on the back of Motin now. So we had a brief moment of silence out on track in terms of battles, but now after more drivers have started to pull the trigger and serve their pit stops, we've got the drivers closing up to each other once again. And more battles taking place. Lees and Taste within a second of each other now, so that battle is continuing on. So much to do and so much to look at. Let's see if we can get this race start now. So here we go, you can see them lining up side by side for the race start. This is where it all went wrong, but looking at this battle as well, Taste, Lease is right at the back of Taste now within a couple of tenths, but here we go. Looks like Whitboot pulled over to the inside line. Sidor, they had Faulkner on his right, moved across, and oh, that was into the barriers, and then it was game over there for the both of them. Sidor doing a full pirouette. Luckily, the drivers behind avoided that, or most of them did, but then we had, I believe, an accident with the Lexus there, going slightly wide there and making contact with Sidor once again. But, yeah, not the best start. And oh, what's happened here? Lease has lost the car. I've just seen Lease has lost the car there. We've got Matheson in the comments saying go Motin. But I think Lease is going to dive into the pits now after that mistake. I wasn't actually watching exactly what happened there to him. I don't think it was contact. Lease in the number 831 car, so no, I don't see any contact, but yeah, into the pits he goes, also cutting the pit entry line. I've got quite a few drivers doing that today, this race, so I think there might be some penalties dished out here by the stewards, but they're looking like Motin and Biocris side by side here. Motin trying to get past, I think, or is he defending? Let's see, they are still side by side, approaching the right-hander, still side by side here on the exit as well. Motin just ahead as we reach the next corner, and stays ahead of Biokvis there. We've got P4 to P7 all in the pits now. Taste and Barth now in the top two provisionally here of this race, but it's just them left to, those two just left to pit now, with everyone else into the pit lane. There we go, Jordan out and track. Where is Minio? Oh, Faulkner as well. Looks like he has come out just ahead of Jordan. So Jordan losing some time in the stops there. Minio, who was battling with, is in P5. So Jordan's made a bit of a mistake in the pit stops. He's lost heaps of time. That's about what? That's about 5 or so seconds I think he's possibly lost. Maybe slightly less. So yeah, maybe a bit of a mistake for Jordan in the pits. We will bring up the pit stop times in just a moment. But Minio's got Campanella all over the back of him here. He's got to try and defend now. Not much he can do on this straight. I think he's a sitting duck here. Campanella in that Ferrari. He's catching everyone out here on this straight. He stays close to you as you get onto the straight and then just slingshots past. And there's nothing you can really do. Minio, can he come back? No, he can't. Campanella secures that racing line going towards this fast right-hander. Yeah, Minio a bit helpless there on the exit. And all Faulkner just trying to stay within track limits on the exit. Maybe pushing a bit too much through that corner, but obviously still has that splitter damage, so that's not going to help him. And Gorge's got a stop-go 30 penalty for speeding in the pits, I believe. So he hasn't served his... he hasn't served his mandatory stop. Johnson, I believe, hasn't either. Yeah, I don't believe Johnson has either. So those two still get to pits. That's showing up incorrectly. And oh no, Gorge's been disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. Oh no, it looks like he went straight into the pits without even braking there. And unfortunately, he has been disqualified automatically. These two very, very close. Minio a bit deeper into turn one. And Faulkner trying to set himself up here for a move. Look at the exit speed there from Faulkner. He's surely going to be able to pull alongside. No, it's not enough. He looks for it. But Minio, not phased by that, comfortably takes the normal racing line. You can see the cars bouncing there through turn 3, that left-hander. And Faulkner taking that left-hander much better than Minio, using that curb to hook himself round. And he's been able to stay close to that Lamborghini as a result, getting onto the straight, doing a bit of a Campanella here. Can he get past now? Staying within the slipstream, almost bumping. Are they going to bump draft? Are they trying to work together to catch up to Campanella here? Or is Faulkner trying to get back past Minio? He's definitely staying within the slipstream. Mo pulls out in the last second. Is it going to be enough though? That damage is not helping him. Minio in the Lamborghini still quite quick on the straights. But looks like no, Faulkner is going to get it done. They're into P5. This has been quite an eventful race here for Faulkner, and looks like they're turning, getting past some traffic there in the form of Barth, who still has to serve his mandatory stop. Johnson, likewise, in the Lexus, still has to serve his too. But I believe Barth is going to do it now. Yes, Barth into the pits. Motin and Biokvist still battling for position. These two have been quite close since the second stint. Ultra saying, I see Helicam. On Helicam, the blue lines go over the cars. Yep. I noticed that. It's the same thing on console as well, actually. The blue lines. It's only on Helicam for some odd reason. But it gives the cars an interesting livery if they go over them on Helicam. But we've got loads of people watching at the moment. Be sure to... Jan saying is leading the race. Be sure to vote for your driver of the day. Jan, if you're quick enough, you can actually vote for yourself. But yeah, make sure to vote for your driver of the day. Like the stream as well. If you are watching, it would mean a lot to us. But the Motin's still fending off here. Biophist. That's not the best camera angle for us whatsoever. We're going to have to go back to trackside. Look at this, just a tenth separating the two. Biophist going for a bit of a dummy into the braking zone. Once again, not going to phase Motin one bit. And the top two separated by 6.5 seconds here, so not that much of a gap between the top two. Especially if Motin makes a mistake, that could easily end his lead here in this race. But for the top two, it's been a bit of a stale race for them. I don't think they've had that much action. And looks like Jordan's lost now a second to Minio after Minio had got past. But for Campanella, he's got another 10 seconds to reboot. Campanella started at the back. He's made his way to a podium at least. Now, well, what can he do? What else can he do? 10 seconds in 22 minutes, definitely possible, but he has to be consistently quicker than Vitvoet here. So that last lap, Vitvoet was a 155 flat. What was it for Campanella? Let's see, 54.4, so 6 tenths quicker. And even the previous lap, he was half a second quicker. So I think if Campanella can consistently do that, it's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. I think he needs to rely on Vitvoet to make a mistake as well. But Minio and Jordan once again close on track together. That's another battle we have to watch out for. So Minio's made a mistake this last lap around. A 156 from Minio from that lap for Jordan is a 154.7. So Minio has definitely made a mistake that last time around. Looks like we've got Johnson into the pits now for his mandatory stop, and that has been served. But this battle, these two very, very close. And we've also got that 3-car battle as we saw earlier. It is a Biophist, Hatcher and Motin, and here we can see Jordan pulling out of the slipstream. Is it going to be enough? That Lamborghini very, very quick on the straights. I don't think it's going to be enough for Jordan, actually. He's going to have to slot back in. Yes, he does slot back in here. Oops, wrong one. There's nothing behind there. Nope, wrong one again. There we go, that's better. And in fact, I don't think we need it because they are side by side. And yep, Jordan's going to get that move done at the end of the straight there. Looks like Minio didn't really defend too hard. If I were him, I would have taken the inside line early on. But Jordan back ahead. And these two fighting have to be careful. Breniel's only 5.5 seconds behind. But let's go to this battle here, this 3-car battle that we've got. Actually, Biophist dropping back ever so slightly now, but it's Motin followed by Hooschii. Hooschie's made a good recovery drive as well after that damage he picked up on lap 1. In fact, he's repaired that damage in the pit stop as well. He's got a much better exit there compared to Motin. Motin has the inside line though. Hooschii very wide there onto the curb. You can see going quite wide does sort of mess your racing line up, and that camber on that corner, like I mentioned a few times earlier, if you stay too wide for too long, it will be harder to make the apex of that corner. But a much better exit out the final corner as well for Hooschii. I think he had a slight lift actually on the exit to avoid picking up a track limit warning. So in fact, Motin's pulled away by a couple more tenths, and Biophist is caught back up now for this battle for the lead. Here we go, onto the straight now. It's a 3-car train here on this battle. And let's get the onboard up of Biophist as well. On board with that Porsche of his. Look at how close these two are. Looks like Hatcher's going to pull towards the inside. Motin trying to squeeze him there. Yep, Motin opens up the corner now to try and keep the minimum speed up through the corner. Is he going to hold on to this. I don't think he is. He's going to try and go for a switchback there. Has to slam on the brakes there. Likewise does Biokfist, nearly coming into contact. And look who's catching up to these three. Lease in the background is catching up. So this could be possibly a 4-car trade. Even Prinzi's not far away either. This could definitely be a 5-car battle in a matter of a few laps. This is going to get very, very interesting here. Now looking at the gap between Jordan and Minio, 2 seconds. So Jordan's been able to pull away here. Minio may be a bit too harsh on his tyres because he hasn't been able to stick with Jordan after he made the overtake. Hooschii ahead of Motin. Now let's see, can Hooschii pull away from Motin, or is Motin going to be able to stick with him and try and get back past even? Bit of a mistake there into turns 1 and 2 from Motin. Bit deep on the brakes, in fact. That's not helped him by any means here. But it looks like Lease is definitely caught up now. And he is pretty much involved in this battle. It looks like Hooschii is already pulling away, and then once again a different line there from Motin. Very varying lines between the drivers on the grid here. Looking at the gap now between Campanella and Wittroot, so in about 5 minutes he's closed the gap by about 1.2, 1.3 seconds. So judging by that, I don't think it's going to be enough. Well, it's not going to be enough for Campanella to close up to Wittroot. He needs much more than that to catch up. And of course, once he does catch up, or if he does catch up, he's got to get past as well. And it looks like that may have been a track limit warning there for Biokfist. Maybe even for Motin as well, running slightly wide on that fast right-hander. I think at this point, Hooschii, with the 3 battling behind him, is going to be able to pull away much more now. Let's see, where is Lease? He's right at the back of these guys now, so this is going to be quite interesting for the 3 of them. I always press on the wrong one. There we go. Lease is well invested in this battle now. He's in the thick of it all. But I think he's just waiting for the guys in front, for the drivers in front to start battling even more, and maybe trip over each other, and maybe capitalise on some mistakes like that. Biokfist was completely sideways on the exit of turn 2. But Lease slightly wide there through that left-hander. Setting himself up here for a good exit, and you see a bit more oversteer there from Biokfist in that Porsche. He's really been struggling with that rear end throughout the race, and well, the more that rear end comes out, the more those rear tyres will wear, the more hotter they'll get as well. That's usually a problem with the Porsche. The wear on the car, the tyre wear on the car isn't even. You've got more wear on the rears than you do on the fronts. The rears get more temperature, well, they heat up quicker than the fronts do as well, especially if they're running the brake bias in the Porsche quite far towards the back, which is what a lot of the quicker drivers usually do. They prefer more rearwards brake bias. Let's see, can Lease get this move done? Look at that, down the inside, there we go. And nothing that Biokfist could have done there. And once again, oversteer on the exit. Biokfist is really playing with the rear here. And maybe a bit of a mistake there from Lease as well. But luckily, Biokfist wasn't able to capitalise on that move. Now, for Lease, his next target, Motin, just up ahead. What can he do here? Nothing into the final corner, I don't think. Or maybe he could have been a bit cheeky there and sent it to the final corner. Motin had to brake halfway throughout. At least definitely could have taken a bit of a narrower line, but he doesn't want to risk anything at this stage of the race. Still 14 minutes, which is plenty of time to get a move done. But at least has to be careful. As you can see, Biokfist is still very close behind him, only 2 tenths separating those two. And in fact, looks like Motin really struggling with turns 1 and 2. He's just a bit too late on the brakes there, and he's compromised his exit massively. And these two side by side, Lease on the inside, and looks like he's going to get that done. Maybe Barth is going to follow through as well. And I think, has he done it? Looks like he will be able to. That's Motin wide. He's in 2 positions there in pretty much one go, but no, a mistake from Bikeverse once again. And these two once again are going to be side by side here. Motin is on the outside. I think he's going to slingshot back past. So it still hasn't worked, actually. Of course, now Lease is ahead of Motin. Looks like they've encountered some traffic as well. A lapped car, I believe, in the form of McCluskey in P18. Yes, it is, but he's moved well out of the way here. And the Porsche of Bikeverse trying to get a bit of a slipstream. But look who's also caught up. Prinzi, P14, is now caught up to these three. Well, these two even. Lease has pulled a second and a half away, and oh, that's a mistake there from McCluskey. Sideways. I think he tried to. I think he went off the track there. Definitely not advisable to go off the track because it's so bumpy on the inside of that fast right-hander. Off track of that fast right-hander towards the inside of the corner. If that made any sense, I don't know if it did, but yeah, the gaps between this battle separated ever so slightly. Campanella still 8 seconds behind the Wittvoet, so I don't think that gap's going to close, and it's another 8 seconds from Wittvoet to Latonen here. So for Latonen and Wittvoet, it's been quite a boring race for them, I'd say, but to be honest, I don't think they're going to mind. It's extra points for them in the championship, and well, the higher up they can finish, the better. And looking at the battle now, this is, oh, it's definitely not over yet. Bikeverse is caught back up to Motin, and Lease down the inside there of Sullivan. Sullivan seems to be going quite slow here. I think he just pretty much gave up that position. He knew Lease was on the inside. Nothing much he could have really done there. And you can see behind them, Motin, Bikeverse, Prinzi, all battling for position now, and Sullivan may be caught up by these three. Too, that last lap he was quite a bit slower than the two behind him, or the three behind him. Lease is on a mission at the moment. Lease started P12, he's gained 2 positions since the start, and well, he's had a great race so far. He's been involved in plenty of battles. And remember to vote for your driver of the day. Voting will close at the end of the race. Definitely vote for your driver of the day. We're going to get some more votes coming in by the end. And look how close Bikeverse is there, under the brakes, into the left-hander. We've got a few comments coming in as well. We've got the Milan Ferrari Cup. Yeah, it is Ferrari Cup. Pretty much, we started this Milan saying, man, I missed this. Have you raced with us before? I can't remember. Yeah, pretty much the championship was opened up just before 1. Oh, no, sorry. The championship started after 1. Or just after 1.9, so a few days after, or a week after. And that's pretty much when the Ferrari wasn't nerfed, so the majority did pick that car. And it's quite an easy car to drive as well, is the Ferrari. I do prefer the Porsche. I feel it's quicker on most circuits, but it's just down to preference really. There are some rapid drivers in the Ferrari, Latonen being one of them, currently with the fastest lap of the race as well. But yeah, it has been nerfed, of course, and it's pretty much evident in the IMB Raceway Championship, where Tarek Adam in the Porsche is completely blitzing the field, which again is full of Ferraris. It's all down to the driver at the end of the day, really. The car, obviously, BOP changes do help, and of course we had an update today. BOP changes for Bathurst, and new fuel for the new 992 Porsche. And how wide That's an interesting late racing line there for Barth. I think he got a bit of oversteer coming through that fast right-hander, so corrected himself and ended up going off to another circuit. But he's back on Paul Ricard with us. But that could have ended quite badly. He did well to save that there. Could have easily been sideways there for Barth, and his tyres would not have liked that one, but he saved that quite well. You see there, Prinzi just eyeing up a move on Motin heading towards turn 1. God, that Porsche is loud. But Motin definitely seems to struggle into turn 1. Likewise, turn 1 and 2. Likewise, does Barth, and they're going to be side by side here, going in towards turn 3. Motin staying ahead for now. I think turns 1 and 2 is where Prinzi's going to have his best bet on getting an overtake done on Motin. That does seem to be where he struggles the most. And usually what the drivers with a lot of racing experience, a lot of what was I going to say? What's the word? Racing knowledge, even. But look at this, before I go for any further, it looks like that Porsche of Prinzi getting right past. Surely he's running very low wing, but that slipstream really helping him. And looks like Barth is caught up to these two as well, but while they're side by side. Really late on the brakes there from Barth. He's not going to be on the track once again. Got the rear out ever so slightly. And looks like Motin's got back past with a switchback. He's got back ahead of Prinzi. Great battling between these two, and Prinzi trying to send it down the inside. No, that was a bit of an opportunistic move there from Prinzi, and he's lost the car as a result. Prinzi, I think, getting a bit eager. She saw an opening, but there wasn't that much space. At that point, Motin was almost turning into the corner, but luckily Prinzi not losing too much time. He's still on the back of these two. But yeah, what I was saying is usually the drivers with more racing experience and racing knowledge, if they're struggling to get past someone ahead, they will sit behind them, see where their weaknesses are. They won't get too eager. They'll just wait, see where they're quicker and where the car ahead is losing time, and then when it's least expected, they will go for a move there. That's what racing is all about. It's not just about driving around the track as quick as you can. You need to study the car ahead. You study your opponents, really. And looks like that was a bit of a mistake from Motin, and he's lost quite a few positions here. He's lost a position to Prinzi as well, and Barth now. So these three chopping and changing positions at this point of the race. And looks like Prinzi now trying to get past. He's caught very quick on the straights, actually, and he looks like he's going to do that even before we reach the corner. There we go. Prinzi ahead, and now Motin's going to try his luck once again down the inside. Barth is going to try and hang around the outside. Was there a bit of contact between the two? I think there was. Yes, there was a bit of contact between the two, but looks like they did leave enough room for each other on the track. But we got some great racing here. Motin, did he let Barth back through? I think he did out of sportsmanship there. So nice to see there from Motin. Very sportsmanlike. Also one of our patrons here at the SimZone. Oh yeah, Van Putten, yes, I remember. Lord saying he feels for the back marker trying to move out the way, then spinning. He says he also needs to go to the bathroom after hearing the sound of the Porsche. Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't blame you whatsoever. Motin now looking for a move. Backs out of it though. Has he forced Barth into a mistake? No, he hasn't. It's quite a tricky corner to go for a move in. You have to really be side by side beforehand. But like I said, if you know the driver in front brakes early there, then, well, you can easily go for a move. But doesn't look like Biokvist has been braking early there whatsoever. But we're into the final 3 minutes of this race now, or closing in on the final 3 minutes of this race. And it's left just these two to battle, Biokvist and Motin. The rest slightly spaced out. Lees and Sullivan separated by 1.8 seconds after Prinzi has got past these two. Oh wow, he's pulled nearly 4 seconds here on the rest. Oh, there we go. Oh, a mistake there from Biokvist. Motin looking for that inside line. Oh, Biokvist trying to shut the door, leaving just enough room there for that Aston of Motin. But late on the brakes once again there from Biokvist. He's really struggling with that rear. I'm sure those rear tyres are almost gone here. The amount of times we've seen that rear on the Porsche stepping out, I think that setup really loose. Something's got to be wrong with it. I don't see any damage in the car. Either that or Biokvist, well, Biokvist did well last race, so I think he seems to be struggling with the setup here around Paul Ricard. Something definitely not right with that car. He'll be complaining to his engineers after this one for sure. And Motin, there's nothing separating these two. But once again, Motin a bit too deep on the brakes and towards turn one. Didn't set himself up for the exit, especially with Biokvist struggling for traction here on the rear. It seems to be okay on entry to the corner, in the slower corners at least, but no, look at that. The rear stepping out pretty much every corner we see here. I have no idea how he's still pointing in the right direction in that car. Mullard saying mid-season join possible. Yes, it is possible. We do have an entry fee though, so we'd have to pay the full entry fee. It looks like Motin is going to get past Biokvist. And I just saw Lord Pelt's comment there. He's driving it like a cup car, where Motin has got that job done. Can Biokvist hold on? I'll try and get back past here on to. Oh, where's the race leader? Latonen. Yeah, so this is the last lap actually for the cars on the lead lap. This is the last lap for them. Latonen with a dominant performance here at Paul Ricard. Much easier race for him this time around, I think, than at Suzuka for round one. You can see it seems very peaceful with him driving around on his own. Got no one to worry about, no cars in front either. It doesn't seem like he's pushing. He's driving very. Well, he doesn't need to push. This is the last lap, but he's driving quite calmly here and with nothing to worry about. But here we go, he's going to come up towards the final corner now. Rounding the final corner. Another P1 here for Latonen, and he's going to cross the line here. P1 at Paul Ricard, flash of the lights there from him. Another good result there from Latonen. It's going to round the final corner. Good result from him this time round after retirement at Suzuka. Of course, we have a drop round, so that retirement will be classed as his drop round, but he's going to finish P2 here. Good result there from Vitvu. I'm sure his teammate, obviously not in this race, but he will be watching or he'll be aware of his result. Campanella P3 after starting from the back of the grid with a qualifying ban. Faulkner actually, after that incident on lap 1, finished in P4, which is where he qualified in. So Faulkner with an amazing comeback there, finishing P4 whilst sustaining damage too. Hoorn is going to finish P5 for a top 5 finish. Minio P6, Renial is P7. Pace is going to round the final corner and finish P8. Hooschii also with another good recovery drive after dropping right down the field is going to finish in P9. Lease is going to cross the line for a top 10 finish here. Like I said earlier, gaining 2 positions since his from his starting position, P12. Sullivan's going to finish just behind, 1 second behind there in P11. Prinzi P12, Motin P13, Biogrist P14, Van Hoorn P15 and Barth P16. We'll be back very shortly for some interviews and for the driver of the day. And for the driver of the day, so we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, so we're going to bring up the, ignore the sound in the background. That's the usual sound on ACC from the pit lane. Unfortunately, we can't turn it off. But the driver of the day then, we are going to bring up now. Of course, voting is closed. So, driver of the day, let's have a quick look. If I can bring it up, that would be lovely. Here we go. I can bring it up. Here we go. Driver of the day actually tied between Faulkner and Motin. I think well deserved for the two. So I think both of them, we may get an interview with both of them at the end of the race. Well, it is the end of the race. We might get an interview with both of them soon. We'll ask them. But a few other drivers tied on one vote as well. But it looks like the majority have gone to Faulkner and Motin. So congratulations to them. Let's see if we can get some interviews now between for the top three and driver of the days as well. Who else? So let's bring in first. Let's bring in Latonen first. Here we go. Great race from you, Latonen. I mean, was a bit of a lonely one, I think, at the front, but another win, more points in the championship, and yeah, a good result.
Yeah, thanks. There wasn't really much excitement in that one. I mean, the start, I was a bit curious what was going on behind me because there was some incident, but yeah, overall good race. In this one, you could really see how the tires really affected in 1.9 because the tire wear was really bad even after like 15 minutes. But overall, it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a lonely race at the front, of course. I think maybe it would have been a bit closer if there was less drama at the start. I don't know, but yeah, you had a dominant victory today. And next round we have got Nürburgring. How are you feeling going into next round?
Yeah, it should be fine. I mean, I quite like Nürburgring. I was there last year. But I watched the GT Masters, and yeah, I quite enjoyed the track.
Yeah, nice. GT Masters are a series. Yeah, I think it helps if you enjoy the track as well.
Yeah.
In terms of pace. But yeah, congratulations. That's another win for you. You'll be leading the championship once again going into the next round. So we look forward to seeing you then.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for the good streams. I watched the last one and it was really nice.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. See you.
See ya. There we go. That was Timmy Latonen. Let's bring in, who should we bring in? Let's bring in the man in P2. Luciano, we've got in here. P2 for you. Similar to Timmy Latonen, bit of a lonely race at the front. I think the most action you got was probably the start of the race. But yeah, good result for you. Obviously, after I believe it was a DNF at Suzuka, so that will be taken into your drop round. So you're still pretty much, I think, P2 or P3 in the championship. I'm not so sure. But you're definitely up there still in contention for the championship as well. It's still early days.
Yeah, thank you. Indeed, after the DNF of last round, I really needed a top 10 or at least a top 5 result today, and with the P2 in qualifying I was quite confident, but I noticed that the tires were dropping off quite quickly, so in the end I was getting into trouble with P3, but I'm happy the way it played out today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're going to be happy with that as well. Yeah. Next round we have Nürburgring. Obviously, quite a few drivers have been complaining about the tyre wear here at Paul Ricard. Nürburgring as well, I think, might be another one for tyre wear. Do you think?
Yeah, could be. I'm still getting used to the new update, you know, with the tyre wear and the graining and whatever, and the new Ferrari, of course. But I'm looking forward to it. I already did a race on the Nürburgring, but I think Paul Ricard was worse for the tires, to be honest. Yeah,
I think he might be okay for the next round as well in terms of tyre wear. I don't think it'll be as bad because all this next week, complete rain every single day. So I think we're gonna have a wet race next round.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Yeah, but congrats on the result in P2, and we'll see you for next time.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye bye.
See ya. There we go, that was P2 Luciano. Let's bring in P3 Campanella. Here we go, we've got Campanella. Much better race this time around. I mean, starting from the back after your qualifying ban and then making it all the way up into P3 was an exceptional result. And I don't think anyone's going to have anything to say bad about you after this race. I think that was a great race from you. And how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's nice to starting from last and then recover all of these places. It was funny because every overtake I had to build it to analyze what the driver ahead was doing, and thanks even to my straight line speed I was able to overtake. So going low wing helped me quite a lot to overtake all of these cars. Nearly got P2 at the end there, but just needed a bit more laps, and then maybe I could have got it.
Yeah, we saw you were closing in lap after lap, but yeah, definitely needed more time. And yeah, we saw most of your overtakes on the straight as well. That's where you pretty much were getting everyone in terms of overtakes. But how was tyre wear for you?
Tyre wear with this low wing, it was bad, because I hoped I didn't have this drop off of the tire, but at the end it was really slippery, and it was difficult to maintain the car on track on the fast corners. But yeah, overall, if I maybe would have put one click more of wing, maybe the tire wear was going to be a lot better.
Yeah, and going into next round, Nürburgring. I've asked this to everyone. How are you feeling? It's gonna be wet. So yeah, how do you think you'll do?
I will train a lot on quali, so let's see next round. It will be a bit of a surprise even for me, since I never did a race on wet in the new patch.
Yeah, let's see. But congratulations on a podium, P3, and we look forward to seeing you for next round.
Bye bye.
There we go, that was Campanella. We've got 2 more drivers to interview. We've got 2 drivers who are tied on driver of the day, actually. Faulkner and Motin. Maybe we can bring them both in for an interview at the same time. Let's try that. Let's bring both of them in for an interview. Here we go. Motin and Faulkner, both tied on driver of the day, actually. So congrats to both of you. We'll start off with Faulkner first. Ethan, you obviously had a bit of an incident with Sador at the start of the race. Dropped back down the field, but you made it back through the field. You made some amazing overtakes and pretty much finished back in your qualifying position.
Yeah, pretty nice recovery despite heavy damage, but car was very difficult as well, so quite amazed to be back up there, to be honest. But yeah, pretty nice race to practice some overtakes. So
yeah,
and a lot of clean racing as well from other drivers. So and battles.
Yeah, there's plenty of overtakes. I believe you didn't repair your damage in the pits. Am I correct?
No, I thought it was a bit pointless. It didn't seem as bad as I thought it would be, and I didn't want to lose too much time.
Yeah, because we saw you come out directly behind Campanella, and I think he started to pull away. I was saying it's probably due to that damage that you had. So it was sure, I believe it was on the front splitter, so surely you would have had a bit more, maybe understeer on the front.
It was everywhere.
Everywhere.
Hit here and hit there on the side.
God. Yeah, we saw did a bit of a pirouette at the start, but
yeah,
I mean, yeah, luckily it wasn't severe damage, because that could have been much worse. But yeah, a good result. P4 just missing off of the podium, and then next round we have Nürburgring in the wet. So how are you looking forward to that? Are you looking forward to it or not?
I like Nürburgring and I like the rain, so
Brilliant.
that should suit on a good combination.
Yeah. Hopefully you can get a podium for next round, and hopefully a cleaner start as well.
Hopefully.
Yeah, those things happen anyways. But congrats on driver of the day as well, and we'll see you for next round.
See you next round.
And moving on to Motin, also taking driver of the day. You had some great battles, pretty much involved in battles throughout the race.
Yeah, I had like 33 minutes probably of just defending off the Porsches and the Ferrari. Had a little bit of unlucky entries and a little bit of slide outs, so I had to let go of the first Porsche, but was able to fight back the second one. So that was actually real nice, but a bit sweaty now after a couple of minutes with defending, but it was good. Good.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that Porsche towards the end, that Porsche you were battling with, talk to me about it. The Brenier looked pretty much all over the place with the rear. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you were able to get past or not.
I was able to get past before or during the long straight.
Ah,
And
yeah.
something happened to him into the right-hander. I don't no idea what happened. He just went straight on, but he was able to get back on track at least. But we were fighting well good amount of time, so it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's great to hear. And question I've asked to everyone: Nürburgring next week in the wet. How are you feeling? Aston, obviously a good car in the wet, but
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I can say that. It's gonna be fun, of course. I like the Nürburgring, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting, especially in the rain. But hopefully the Aston will help me a bit there.
yeah, hopefully. But congrats on the drive of the day as well, and we'll see you for next round.
Thank you very much.
There we go. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, for today's race. Some amazing racing you had today, but that is it for today's broadcast. We'll be back live tomorrow once again for the Track Day Championship, where we are at Kyalami. Yeah, Kyalami. So that looks to be dry as well. But yeah, looking forward to that race, and we will see you then.